Welcome. This is Edna J. White. Once again, I want to thank you for coming to my channel. And I wanted to share something with you today about our emotional status and about how emotions play a great part in our lives and aggressively move us into a place where sometimes we don't want to go. I say the biggest emotion that we do always display is anger. And anger can display itself in denial. It can display itself in ridicule, criticism. It can actually take place and voice itself in just getting away from people. But does that really help us? Does being emotionally angry really help us? No, it doesn't. You can embrace your anger. You can embrace how it's affecting you by actually voicing it and say, yes, I'm very angry about a situation. And I can tell you that I've been angry a couple of times, even more than a couple of times. But anger really puts us in a place where we don't want to be sometimes. And you know how it's been said to us, you can get angry and sin not. Well, that means you can be angry and not separate from that person. So if someone upsets me or says something that it's not to my liking or just goes against my grain, I have to be able to have a voice and be able to speak up and say, that was not right to what you'd done to me. That was not proper in what you said to me. It just wasn't appropriate. Just not appropriate to be speaking to me this way. And I know sometimes people do not want to hear what you have to say. And keeping it inside does a lot to you. But you have to find a place when you are angry that you address that anger both with yourself and find out where that hurt you and why it hurt you. So if I get angry at someone saying something to me that is inappropriate, like, you don't have to drive this type of car, and it kind of gets you angry. Annoyed is anger, so it's just that it's very least an issue. And why did that make me feel angry? Why did that make me feel annoyed? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. Why did this statement make such an impact on me or trigger me? Well, when you're triggered, maybe you need to pull the trigger and let it go and then say, what's going on within me? And once you answer that question, then you can go back and say, this is not right as to what you said to me. This is not appropriate. I just didn't like the way you said that to me. I can drive whatever car that I want, but what made you think that you can say that to me and it made me feel good? I find that when you're in a place of love, things come up on purpose so that you can really shine and you can really show God's glory. But you have to be able to see it and have to be able to know it. So if you have a lot of triggers, the triggers should be dealt with. And they should come from a place, your answer should come from a place of love. Every time that I've ever been angry, I've always avoided people. I've always, not spoken to them, got away from them. But this is the real world. And the real world is address whatever is going on. And when you're in a place of love, you start to love yourself. That's not right, or that's not good for me because it does not make me happy. That's the one thing. It does not make me happy. So I have to be okay with myself. Okay that I'm driving a Honda. I'm okay with that. But most people become angry and say, well, why am I feeling that way? What makes me want to be oppositional to the statement, oh, you shouldn't be driving this type of car. Maybe that person meant you should have been driving something better. And you have to remember your audience, who's talking to you and why they're talking to you in the first place. So if you put yourself in places that, or situations that questions come up to go against you, that person doesn't really know you and doesn't accept you for who you are. So at that point, you need to address the fact that this is them and not you. And most of the time, when you are triggered, your trigger is nothing about you being upset about where you are in your life. So I'm okay with having a Honda. And yeah, I would probably answer them, yeah, I like Hondas. And plus it's cost effective for me at this point in my life. And that would be a true answer, and that would be from a place of love. But if I continue with the trigger and it does go off, I could say, mind your business, stay in your lane, and keep going on and on. But if you are in a place of love, you can just immediately answer with no attachment to your answer and say, yeah, I like a Honda. It's very cost effective for me, and plus it's comfortable. I keep it nice, and it's just made for it right now. And answers like that are so soothing to the soul, and it's so exciting to know that you are true to yourself. When you're true to yourself, you don't have to worry about anything that anybody says to you, because it's not they're not their journey, and my journey is different from theirs. So what if they have a BMW, a Jaguar, a Corvette? Who cares? But that's what they decide to do. But am I strained with my Honda? Of course not. Is it nice? Of course it is. But I don't have to answer to anyone, because whatever God gave me, it's for me. And I've had this Honda and taken care of it, and it does me well. So emotionally, we have to learn to love ourselves and love where we are in our journey and embrace that. Our emotions won't take us over if we do that. If we do anything other than that, we're not embracing ourselves. If we're insulted, it's because we are insulted in ourselves. If we're angry and we're annoyed that someone's against us, it's because we're against ourselves. And we have to find the root of that problem. We have to grab that root, and we can say, you know what? This is not good for my happiness. I have to fix this. Most of the time, when things are triggering you, it's because you're going against something that's in you, not in what someone else has said. When you learn to love yourself, truly love yourself, anything that someone says to you or goes out of their way to say to you is because it's chiding what you already feel about yourself, what you're already feeling, So you have to learn to love yourself completely and totally, and where you are in your journey. You really do. Because if you don't, everything will affect you. Everything will upset you. Everything will annoy you. And everyone will annoy you. Then you'll find yourself alienated. And alienation, as you know, is the number one place for depression. Number one. As soon as you're alienated, that's when everything happens in your mind. Everything takes place. They don't like me. You start talking the self-negative talk. You start doing and not taking care of yourself off of the self-talk, off the negative self-talk. A lot of which is all programmed already, that you've already agreed to. And it's all about you. It's all about you. When the triggers are triggered, when someone does anything to you or says anything to you, or your perceived notion that they've done or said anything, right away, check yourself. It's you that is bringing that question to their mind. It's your attitude that's bringing that question to your mind, to their mind, I'm sorry. But I just wanted to approach that today and let you know that any emotional baggage that you may have, deal with it. And that's the time when you should have some alone time and start dealing with yourself. Start asking yourself those very important questions. What's good for me? Love yourself. Talk to you soon.